I don't even know if you can see me, but it is what it is. So this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews Now 2. It is Saturday the something of July, 2nd of July. It is 2 minutes past 8, which is actually not bad for me. That's pretty impressive. So if you're not sure or aware of what the heck is going on, we're going to be taking a look at this. This is Thermaltake's The Tower 500. The box is huge. Oh, what's echoing now? I have got extra cameras, so it could be one of these is interfering. Bear with me one moment. Where have we got here? Where's the mouse? No, shouldn't be an echo. Is there still an echo? Is it echoing? No. If it's echoing, you might have your Discord open. And if you've clicked on that, then you might find that Discord is playing at the same time, because that is technically a different window. But yeah, is it echoing? We okay?
I think so.
Let's have a look in the other chat. I can't see a thing. That sounds fine to me. I can't even see the screen. We have not got a particularly good setup going here, as you've probably already guessed. The chat screen is over there, and there's this.
Is the disco ball not plugged in?
Disco ball should be plugged in. Oh, it might not be turned on to save power. Yes, it isn't turned on to save power. Let me turn it on. Whilst try not to damage anything or run over any wires. Oh God, am I going to be able to reach there? Oh yeah. There we go. Let's give you a quick blast on that. There we go. Just in case there was a super chat. There was a super chat from Ugly Bob. There's me freaking mouse. I'm going to sort out the sound of this mouse shortly as well. Where is the mouse? There he is. Dear Lord. There we go. Disco, disco, disco. You can't actually even see the monitor, the thing on there, can you? I'm on the wrong side now. Oh dear. Right, let's go down to the bottom of there. Let's clear that off of there. Is that cleared? Yes, it has. Awesome, right. Yeah, you have to press the button, Kath, if you can reach. Thank you kindly. Right, let's move that over there. Let's move this over, because this thing is heavy. This is a huge case. Be honest with you, I am in very much a mixed idea of what I think of this case already. I think it's too big, is the honest answer. Now, obviously, if you're someone who follows Thermaltake and all the things they do, they had the Tower 900, which is the first edition, which was released, I think it's CES 2019, I believe, which was massive and had a Donkey Kong style theme going with it. Then about a year or so later, they released the Tower 100, which we've also reviewed on the channel, which was the mini ITX version, which actually was still quite big for a mini ITX build. But what they've done now is they've got the Tower 500, which is suitable for extended ATX and ATX motherboards. But it still measures in at a ridiculously large size. So I'm just trying to see what the actual size is here. What's the matter?
Nick Burns is still getting echoes, but Ugly Bob says no echoes there.
Okay. Dimensions of this is... Actually, I'll switch to the other camera.
Issues, apparently.
So this should now be showing... There we go. There's our other little camera. So there are the dimensions. So 608 by 388 by 398 millimeters. So it's kind of square almost. So 23.9 by 15.3 by 15.7. So it's as near as damn it square. It's bloody huge. It really is. And it's got a ton of different headers and fan support and all that kind of good stuff. So I'll let you have a quick look at that one. Let's go back to the main camera. The camera is going to struggle because at the moment, obviously, this is a huge thing and it's probably trying to focus on my face or my eyes. One of the two. So we're going to take this apart today. We're going to go through. I wanted to show you the box just to give you some idea of the physical size of this thing. It is absolutely freaking huge. Just the box on its own is what? It's got to be 2.5 foot at least. It barely fits underneath an IKEA table. So if you've got an IKEA table or just one of these office tables, it barely fits underneath it when it's in the box. Now clearly there's going to be some package in there, top and bottom, so it's going to be a little bit smaller, but we will be checking this out in great depth. I'm actually very interested on what to actually do with it, whether or not, because they're showing it in most of the pictures as you've seen from the front. So they're showing it with a 360mm radiator, so crazy graphics card, lots of water cooling going on, lots of fans, etc, etc. But from what I've seen from existing reviews already, from Kit Guru and some other respected sites, is that the airflow is challenging in this because of the design. And that primarily becomes a problem because of the size and the shape. So a square shape or a rectangle like this, where it's relatively uniform, is never good for cooling. Now, to put it into context, if you imagine in your own home, so say for instance your living room, your dining room, your bedroom, whatever, most rooms are relatively square. So if you open up the window, open up the door, kind of you'll get a little bit of air going around a certain area. Generally it'll go straight in the window, straight out the door. And there's going to be other parts of your living room or your area which are going to be still very hot, not getting cooled. So you put a fan in the room to try and blow some of that air in a certain direction. But because again it is a square or a large rectangle, it's not ideal for airflow. The best possible situation for any type of cooling is a long straight corridor. And obviously to kind of validate that, if any of you have got a home, especially us in the UK where we've got relatively smaller homes, if you open the front door, open the back door, and there's a corridor linking the two between, you'll probably find by the time you've opened one of the doors, the other door is going to slam closed because the airflow is trying to close the door because there's so much airflow. It just creates a tunnel, which is what you get in a more traditional style case. Upright, narrow, basically only a little bit wider than the fans themselves. That is the perfect setup. So this is really more for kind of showcasing the PC and just installing an absolute ton of water cooling components, which then it doesn't make a great deal of difference about airflow because you've got so much extra fluid in there and kind of thermal capacity to soak up all that additional heat. So yeah, it does kind of lead me to the situation of what am I going to do with this? I potentially wouldn't want to do water cooling in it, purely because at the moment everything is so ridiculously expensive. I probably don't have to tell you about fuel prices. Depending which country you're in, you're basically screwed. So everyone at the moment is feeling the pinch. So to go out and actually buy like expensive water cooling fittings and all that kind of stuff, at the moment for me feels rather disingenuous, because I know there's a lot of people out there, us included, we're struggling, everything's gone up. In real terms, kind of inflation at the moment is kind of around about 20%. If you look at anything a couple of months ago, things now are about 20% more expensive. Something which I noticed particularly this week when we're doing our weekly shop is my favourite 4-pack of Cornetto style Tesco ice creams were £1 for 4, they're now £1.20, thus giving you exactly your 20% inflation. Not the most scientific of scales, but certainly it gives you an idea, and you're all experiencing it, no doubt. But anyway, yeah, they are cheapo Cornettos. We do like to skimp here and save some money where we can. So yeah, this is going to be a challenge. It really is, and I'm genuinely not sure what's put in there. I'm really not. It was originally intended.
Get it out, Mike, just get it out.
I will get it out shortly, and the case.
And the case.
It was intended originally to be a replacement for the streaming PC, which is sat behind me, which you can't see because of this stupid large box. But after measuring it, it seems that the case itself is actually too big to sit on the shelf behind me, which then leads me to the thing. I've been meaning to change this setup for a while now because it is frustrating. Kath says no.
We've done it before and you've hurt my foot.
Last time I did hurt Kath's foot when we changed things. I am considering putting a table like this behind me rather than having the shelves there. Now I know some of you are really attached to the shelves behind the old Kallax unit. I'm either way. I'm tempted to move it purely because I find my desk uncomfortable as well to sit at. So just having a flat normal desk might be beneficial. Might give me a bit more flexibility. Originally that desk behind was only for streaming purposes anyway. So yeah, potentially I could get rid of that altogether and use this as my primary PC and ditch my desk. But I don't know, I'm not too sure. There's another super chat come in from someone that I cannot see. Right, I'm going to get rid of this off the desk. Rick H has... Oh, bless you, Rick H, with $20 there. And says, this is for your ice cream. That's a lot of ice creams right there. And I could actually do with ice cream because my throat is still very painful. Well, not very painful, it's just uncomfortable. Let me move this case out of the way. I've got a few other things that we need to address and get out of the way. So I'm going to try... Oh, I've just broken the table, so I might need to get another one. Let's pull this out of the way. There goes me back. Oh, it's getting bloody hot in here already. Right, good old William Bodie, the generous swine that he is, sent us over a load of stuff, a load of chocolate and some drinks and some other Star Wars goodies, bits and pieces. So I'm going to quickly show you those and to say thank you. Where else? There was something else. Was it on my desk? No, there it is.
Yeah, you could use this box.
Use that box as the desk and just put the PC on top of it. So, oh, where? I know where it is. That's the other thing. The UV sterilizer. There he is, packed away.
Right, Jose's getting a bit impatient about you taking this out of the box, but he's also got this cake, so.
Ah, Jose. I will endeavour to get on with it quickly. Although.
But he's saying thermals are good. I don't know if you want to read that.
All right, that's okay. I'll go through some of the chat in a minute. We'll get to that. So yeah, William Bodie actually is very useful because this desk is screwed basically. I've ruined it over the last couple of years. There's all kinds of holes in it, and actually if I go to the other camera, you can see, hopefully, all the little dings in the desk which have happened over time. It's not too bad over that side, but this side is yeah, ruined. Sorry about the camera quality, my apologies. But anyway. It is what it is. We do what we can. Why is YouTube telling me now would be a good time to insert ads? Creators earn more money inserting ads the more viewers are watching. Give it a try. No, you're right, thanks. So, in order to fix up my desk and so that my keyboard and mouse aren't so noisy, we've got a Star Wars Mandalorian professional gaming mat. A little bit of a strange crossover there, but I'm definitely going to see what that is like. And I will make a confession, I've not seen very much of the Mandalorian series. I hear it's very good. I watched a couple of episodes and I kind of got a little bit bored of it, I'll be honest. So let's move that out of the way. And there we go, the Mandalorian. That's pretty cool. So I can actually use this on the table now to stop it ruining my desk. It says it's waterproof, which it will need to be. What's that? A bit something stuck there. Oh no, it's not. It's an alien. He's supposed to look like that. Or is it? Oh no, that is something come off. We'll get it off. Let's give you, actually, can I give you an overhead view of that? There we go. So there we go, the Mandalorian. It's weird because he looks a lot like Boba Fett. Show my ignorance there. Captain Robbie says instant static discharge. Yeah, there's something weird there. I'm not sure what that is. I think is that rolled off of somewhere? I don't know. It looks like it's going to come off anyway. That's fine. Also as well, we've got a Star Wars heat change mug. Now, I have a confession to make on Kath's behalf. The last heat change mug that you sent us, William, Kath actually put in the dishwasher and it had a permanent heat change to basically nothing. So, yeah, apologies there. So let's have a look. So we've got the Mandalorian, or is it Paladin? Star Wars Mandalorian. Let's see if I can make it change colour with just the heat of my hands. No, apparently not. So, yeah, there seems to be, there's a full thing behind there, so we'll have a look at that later. I'll get a cup of tea in there, and we'll see what that's like. So thank you very much, William, for those. Also, he sent us as well, this is actually quite an unusual little beastie. So this is a phone charger, but it's also got built into it a UV sterilizer. So you grab your phone, which I haven't got with me.
So I have mine, but I've got it in my hand.
Yeah.
I'm actually using it.
So you stick your phone in there, close that down, press the button, and it gives it a 10-minute UV bath, which is good for getting rid of germs and all that sort of crap, which may be something that you're considering or concerned with. And when you're done, you can just leave it on the top there, and it's got a built-in Qi charger. So there's the Qi charging plate. So just stick your phone on there and it'll charge it. And when you're not charging it, obviously you can just stick it in and give it a bath. Works on USB Type-C, which was there. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I've actually used it a couple of times and seems to work all right. Although I haven't got any way of testing the germs, but yeah, good job. And also, to suit with the theme, Mike's unboxing colour, very almost, a USB Type-C cable. So plug that in there, and USB Type-C. I've actually used this a couple of times already. There's some videos coming out very shortly which actually do have this particular cable as a star of the show. And also, we have this sent as well, which is a USB adapter, so USB Type-A, which then splits into your Lightning port and USB, micro USB.
Did you get in that thing and get your tan from it?
Yeah, it is a tanning booth. I can stick that back in there.
Doing UV light with it open?
No, once you open it, the UV light stops immediately. It does actually do ozone as well, but you don't want to sniff that because it's bad stuff.
That's good, isn't it?
Anyway, so yeah, you know, ozone's what you get off like laser copiers. Ozone's bad for you. A little bit of it's okay, but too much of it is bad for you.
I thought ozone was good.
We've also got some Star Wars magnets, fridge magnets. So we'll be sticking those on. I haven't done it yet, but I wanted to show you guys what we'd had. So that's also cool. There's very much a Star Wars theme going on here. Was there some kind of deal going on at Aldi or Lidl when this was all purchased? I'm actually genuinely intrigued whether that is the case or not. Also, we did have some snacks, which most of them, to be fair, we've kind of demolished. But we did get this as well. This is an unusual thing. We don't get this sort of thing in the UK, at least I've not seen it. So this is basically 4 cans of Pilsner. I think it's Pils, well it says Pils on there. And some bratwurst, which is sausages to you and me. So, looking inside, we have got some barbecue weather coming up very shortly. So we can get our Dickie Sunderlunder bratwurst. Get those bad boys.
I want to see it on subtitles.
Get those bad boys on the grill.
Oh, turn your subtitles on.
Turn on your subtitles. I don't think the subtitles work at the moment. Dickie Sunderlunder, something or other. Anyway, yeah. And also to wash it down, we've got some Krombacher pills. I probably annihilated that pronunciation. Those are cool little cans. What percentage is that? 4.8. Oh, I'll be pissed at my face on that. Anyway, so there you go. So, Kath, I might have to ask you to put the doodah, the Dickie Bronderlander thingies, whatever's in the kitchen. Actually, and the fridge magnets on the fridge. Right, charging dock. Where can I put that? I'll put that back down there. There was other sweets and stuff, but I'm not going to go through that. Also today from good old Bob, Ugly Bob, we've got these Beltron, sorry, I always say that wrong. HD 800X. These are on offer at the moment on Amazon. There's a link in our Discord in the bargains no chat. These I think were reduced from something like 40 or 50 quid down to something like £17. It's basically very, very cheap for Bluetooth headphones. And I haven't actually seen them at all yet, because they only turned up very shortly. But actually that's cool. Comes in a nice semi-hard carry case. What's that? Is there a receipt in there? How much has he been spending on us? Bloody hell! William and family, you shouldn't be spending that sort of money. You really shouldn't, but thank you. These headphones look a little bit retro. Quite lightweight actually. I thought they were going to be pretty heavy, but they're actually quite lightweight. Pretty comfortable. A little bit of sound deadening going on there. Is there any adjustment on there? Oh yeah, got some adjustment on there. If you've got a slightly bigger Swede. Oh, that's better. Ooh. Kind of sound noise cancelling. I can't really hear myself very well. That sounds cool. I didn't press clear there, did I? Right, okay. So yeah, we'll be checking those out shortly. Thank you very much, Bob. It's an unusual little company actually, the Beltron, or Beltron, whatever they call themselves. They, I think they're a UK company. They do some particularly cheap stuff, but it actually appears to be pretty decent quality as well. The last ones we did, I think, were the Beltron S2s, which Bob sent, and those were like stunning for what the money was. I think they were only about £15 or so, maybe even £10 or something crazy like that. But they were very good. So it'd be interesting to see what these are like. So yeah, we'll be checking those out in the coming days and weeks, etc. Actually, that is probably a good time for me to address something. Now, some people are commenting on the video saying that the prices on the items we're reviewing, because we do film kind of 2, maybe 3 weeks in advance, clearly at the moment there is kind of weird global shit going on, which has been going on for the last couple of years and is kind of starting to peak somewhat at the moment. So clearly, obviously, the prices that I quote in videos could be one of a few things. It could be a special offer. It could be like a one-time deal. It could just be something which is increased in price because things are increasing. So you kind of have to take those things into consideration. Now, in the videos, I do stress that there are links in the video description and you should check those out for the latest prices in your region. And kind of like, I've almost ingrained that into my brain to say that, because it is really important that even like this week's videos, there was 2 motherboards, the H610M-K D4 and also the I did actually, yeah, the other Prime, the Z690-P Prime Wi-Fi D4. Both of those were spectacular bargains, and I did state that in the videos. They were particular bargains. They aren't the normal retail prices, so you do have to shop around a little bit, and you may find it obviously in your particular regions they may be considerably more expensive. But I'm going on my price that I've paid and just giving you an overview. If there is a special offer on and there's multiples available, or it seems there is readily available stock, then I will be posting it in multiple places. So generally the first place it goes to is our Discord chat. So for those of you that are members on our Discord, you'll go to Bargains No Chat and they'll be listed in there, potentially with an affiliate link as well. Otherwise, it will go to the community tab, which is free to join. You don't have to do anything other than be a subscriber of the channel. Check into the community tab, and if you probably find it turns up on your feed anyway. So definitely check those out as well. So if something comes in, we see a deal on maybe Hot UK Deals, or someone else has posted on Discord, or somebody reaches out to us and says, look, these are on sale at the moment, what do you think? Then we will be posting those immediately. So time sensitive stuff like that, if you want to pick up on the bargains, they are going to be slightly more UK based, but they will be posted in Discord, the community tab. It'll also be on, most likely will be on my personal Facebook page, which you're more than welcome to friend me up on there if you want to. And also they'll be on the ShopSmart page as well, which is on Facebook. So there's going to be at least 4 places, 3 maybe 4 places, where the deals will be listed in advance of the videos actually being released. Now obviously if you want to get the videos quicker, I'm not saying you should do this, but I'm saying if you're concerned that you're missing out on deals because you're not getting the videos quick enough, and maybe you're not on Discord and maybe you're not following the community feeds, the only other options is Patreon. So if you join us on Patreon, you get early access to the videos. That is the quickest way of getting the content. Generally, you'll get those a day or maybe 2 days after they've actually been made. So they're super quick. And I think that starts off as little as like something like $2, which kind of, if you're interested in deals and stuff, you're probably going to save yourself those $2 pretty quickly just from the deals we post. So if you're kind of concerned, well, $2, I'm not too sure, try it. I'm not saying do it. I'm not trying to shill for money. If you're concerned you're missing out on deals, then it's an option. Otherwise, we've got the YouTube members program, which doesn't get the videos as quickly. They get them after patrons because
Yeah, 5 days early.
just the way it's about 5 days gap between them. So
No, 5 days early.
Sorry, 5 days earlier. So if a video is 3 weeks old, you'll get it when it's 2 weeks old. It's not great, but it's kind of what we've got into the routine of doing. And I'm sorry, that is the way things are at the moment. Until we can work out something better, that is the way things are going to be. So I just wanted to clear that up anyway, because there have been some super deals, and that is why it's led me on immediately to... I know, I'm going to do the chats. I've got so much to get through. I haven't got time.
Use that cup, you're going to break it. I know what you're like.
I'm not going to break the cup. One of the deals that we had this week was from Raza 906, trademark, and this was for the Habit USB-C wireless mechanical keyboard. These were £10. They sold out quite quickly. We posted on Discord. I did notice that somebody actually bought 6 of them, I think. So this was a mechanical keyboard. Obviously, it's £10 for a keyboard and mouse. You can't be expecting too much, but actually, I was pretty impressed. So nice little 60% keyboard. You got the red switches in there and removable keycaps. You got red silent switches. Clearly, it's not the cup of tea for everybody. Not everybody likes 60% keyboards. You lose obviously things like your number keys, number lock, arrow keys. You can kind of use, but you have to do some messing around with other keys to enable them. So it's not for everybody. But if you're right-handed and you're into gaming, and you just kind of only use ASDW, then yeah. And spacebar, clearly, you're going to be absolutely fine. It does have a USB Type-C removable cable as well, which again, come on, this is £10.
How much are the cables?
The cables cost you like a £5 just to buy a USB Type-C cable. So if you just wanted a USB Type-C cable, you could take the cable out of here, keep that, throw the keyboard and mouse away, and you've only lost £5. It's like, come on, this is ridiculous. Some people actually complain saying, oh, it's trash. It's like...
Is it in UK keys?
It's fine. It's actually in UK layout as well. It said on the listing that it was US, but when they turned up, it actually surprised me that it does actually have the F3 key, which is also the UK pound sign. Not the hash key, but the pound, because in America, you guys call the hash key a pound sign, which is quite confusing. So anyway, regardless. So yeah, you do have that. It's actually a not bad little keyboard. Again, it's £10. Realistically, if you're someone that regularly buys and sells PCs, or you've maybe got a PC which you're trying to flip which isn't selling, spending £10 on a keyboard and mouse just so you can include it with a PC and make it look like it's more of a bargain than it actually is, you can't go wrong. And the mouse itself, comfortable, nice and clicky, it works. I don't think it's got anything like a Omron switches or a PixArt sensor or anything, but braided cables, the USB Type-C is detachable and braided. £10. Come on, £10 for a keyboard and mouse, which is mechanical. Like, you cannot go into the likes of Asda and Walmart or your local PC shop. You'll be lucky to find a keyboard and a mouse for £10. And for them to have RGB and also be mechanical, come on, this is a great deal. So much so, I bought 2 of them. I'm kind of...
Paul Batewell got one, Nick.
I'm kind of wanting to keep one, but we are going to be doing a giveaway for these. So when the video comes out for this, which will be very shortly, I'm not sure when's it coming out for patrons, or has it gone out? Might have already gone out. We will be doing a giveaway for these. There will be some links in the video when it goes live on YouTube. So I'm going to wait for that to do. It'll be open to pretty much anyone. If you win it and you're in a country which has a completely different layout, strong chance. What we'll do is we'll just buy one on Amazon in your country and get it sent straight to you to save messing around. Because it'll probably be cheaper to buy the keyboard and mouse in a different country and get it sent straight to you than what it would for us to actually box it up and package it. And it won't take as long. So potentially we might do that as well. We'll see how it goes. So if that is the case and someone abroad wins it, then chances are the UK ones will just pick out another couple of names until we get some UK people. I don't know. I haven't figured it out in my head yet. You've probably guessed that already. But we will be giving these away so you can enjoy them yourselves. I actually don't really want to give them away because I really like the idea of it. And for when we next do our kind of a PC build or giveaway or whatever, it's going to be really handy to have that set around. Right, let's have a look at, oh, look at that, I can use the mouse on an actual mouse mat now. How good is that? Right, let's have a look at some of your comments and I'll say hello to those of you in the chat, which I've been ignoring at the moment, so my apologies for that. But, oh actually, Kath, that's to go in one of those. Right, Lucky Man we've got with us, Ordinary Dude, Freckle Puny, how you doing? Nick Barnes, Aletta's with us as well, good old Ugly Bob, Matthew Day. So this case has room to swing a cat in it. It does. You could probably put
all 4 of them.
A hamster on a wheel in there and have a cat.
That's cruel.
It'd be fun. William Bodie's with us. Thank you again for sending those kind things over. Although I did have to carry him back from the shop on my own because Kath abandoned me.
I went out.
Mark Barry is with us. That's what we said. Aletta says the TT Tower 500 looks super sweet, y'all. It does. There is something quite endearing about it. I think the appeal of it, especially to other markets, such as the American market, because in America and places like Australia, things like that, in general, without kind of stereotyping, you do have larger homes. So along with larger homes, you have more space, you have bigger desks, etc., etc. So you've got a little bit more room to actually store these things, whereas for those of us Europeans and for those of us mostly in the United Kingdom, we have tiny little houses. Like I told you before, this room is literally 3 meters by 4 meters. It's tiny. And 3 meters by 4 meters is something along the lines of kind of like 10 by 12. If you take out the fireplace, it's kind of like 10 by 10 effectively. So it's a tiny room, 10 foot by 10 foot. Most of you probably got swimming pools bigger than that, whereas this is actually our room. So yeah, you get an idea. But I think that is the appeal. I think the Tower 500 and the 900 for that matter are definitely more suited towards the kind of North American market. I would argue. But let me know what you think in the comments. Captain Me's Adventures says, right, you sexy bunch of potatoes. I'm not sure if that's somewhat, I don't know. I had potatoes for tea. Jacket ones, they're very nice. Homegrown. Not in our home, but someone else's. Ordinary Nude says, that's a big box. Thank you for noticing. Ugly Bob, Disco. Stuart Cleary says, sound is good. Paolo says, perfect sound. Well, that is impressive. I've actually gone back to my original Boya BY-M1. The BY-M1S, the self-powered one, I think the signal was just a little bit too hot and it was picking up on all sorts of things. And actually, talking of picking up all sorts of things, William Bodie may have noticed already or commented, but I haven't read it yet. There's also a clock which he sent over as well, so that we're not late for streams. And actually, ironically, it did work because today we were pretty much bang on time, so that worked out well.
It did scare the shit out of me the first day.
Yeah,
but I didn't know it was here.
Kath didn't know there was anything there because she heard something ticking and was looking around like,
not even the ticking,
what is it?
I was like, what have you left running all night?
It's a weird noise. But can you hear the ticking? Let me be completely silent and see if you can hear the ticking. Can anyone hear that? I was really concerned that it was going to be obvious on camera, but actually I accidentally left it there. The other day I started filming a video and I was like, oh, effing hell, a bloody clock, and I lobbed it over there.
Hear it. Oh, Dutch Jan can.
I'm wondering who can hear it. I'm guessing if you're wearing headphones, and they're particularly good headphones, you probably will be able to pick it up. But I'm thinking for most people, if you're watching maybe on a mobile device, on your phone, tablets, that sort of thing, I think it's unlikely you're going to hear it. But I kind of like it now. I'm getting used to it. And no one's moaned about clock ticking at the moment in the comments, so I'm taking that as being okay. But with the other microphone, because it was a much hotter signal, it seemed to be picking up on it, so I've switched back to the other microphone. Anyway, moving on from that. Mick Wood says, sounds good, no echo, echo. Ugly Bob says that was money well spent. I think that was for the super chat. Josie, or is that Josie de Villa or is that Jose? Do you pronounce it Jose? I would. I got mine. It's a great case. Coolio. Tonight on Mike's Unboxing, Mike turns on some balls and gets his hand inside a big box. That's probably going to happen. What's taking you so long to open the box, says Juicy. You've clearly not been on one of these streams before. This is very much waffle, yeah. I do waffle a lot. It has to be said. Not quite in the league of Kerry Holzman. I'm not quite in his category yet. We'll see if we can as time goes on. Ugly Bob says 3 foot on the slack. If only. Captain Rovius is with us. I said that. Wild Bills, good evening all. How are you, my gaff? All better, I hope? Yeah, not too bad. The throat is playing up. I've got, or at least from what I can tell, from going to a doctor's ages ago, I've got a thing called GERD, which is like a acid reflux thing. So because there is a part of my throat which isn't working properly, the muscle doesn't close. So I'm getting stomach acid or bile kind of coming up into my throat when I go to sleep, and possibly during the day, I'm not too sure. But it seems to be more so when I sleep. So I go to bed and then I wake up in the middle of the night with like kind of burning hot bile or acid in my throat. And that is basically like damaging my throat, obviously. So it's inflamed, it's sore, and I'm trying to work through it. It's basically diet, exercise, all the kind of usual stuff. Cut out certain foods, don't eat too much greasy shit. You get the general idea. So it's basically me not looking after myself and other things just not working as they should do. But we're working on it, getting through it. It's just, yeah, every now and then it gets to the point where it's difficult to swallow. It's very uncomfortable. And it makes me very kind of angry because it's persistent. But anyway, that's enough of my hassles. Anyway, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not ill. To be honest, I'd rather be ill. It would be better because then you'd get over it. You'd have a sore throat, be done with it, and it'd be over. But this is kind of dragging on. Anyway, moving on. Matthew Bennett says, good evening, Mike and Kath. Hope you're well. Quick question. I need a PSU kettle lead. Any recommendations? I have no recommendations at all. Amazon. To be honest with you, I'd probably go to your local computer store. I'd imagine they'd have thousands of them and be happy to give you one. Scroll through, what else we got? So we said that, really random reviews. John Sullivan, etc. William Bodie, Mark Point. Just going to fast forward through some of these. O'Reilly's with us. I think I said that already. Really random reviews. I hate ads and avoid them like the plague. Yeah, YouTube is getting more and more of that kind of thing now where it's just constant bang, 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 money, money, money. I know there's like economic stuff going on and everybody's suffering. It seems even Amazon are suffering. They're really playing on the advertising and they've dropped the affiliate rates. This is obviously my problem, nothing to do with you, but the affiliate rates, they're dropping on everything. So what before you'd earn a tiny percentage of, now you're getting even less of a tiny percentage of. So they are clearly feeling the pinch as well. It's just, yes, it's a all-round thing. There's people out there considerably worse off than us, so I do count my blessings, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it just feels like a kick in the balls every time that YouTube turn around and say, right, we're taking more from you, or Amazon say, we're giving you less for what you do. It's like, come on, without us, content creators, places like Amazon and YouTube would not exist. Because there'd be no need for them to exist.
Record profits, they dropped your commission rate.
Yeah, Amazon make record profits in a year and they drop the commission. It's like, thanks for that. I know you got rockets to build and stuff, but come on. Anyway, where do we get to? So Mike P says that's definitely Boba Fett. I think that's Boba Fett, I'll be honest with you. But he was in the Mandalorian, I think, wasn't he, towards the end? I don't know. My Star Wars knowledge isn't great other than the original trilogy, which I know quite well.
I've never watched any of it.
Kath hasn't seen any of it, she's quite proud of it as well. William Bodie says that Kath, it's a USB key holder. Oh yeah, key ring. Yes. Welly Bob's with us, says you can't beat a bit of good sausage. I'm hoping. William Bodie, Dicky equals thick. Thicky Dicky. Right, let's get off with what we're supposed to be doing. Dutch Jan says, nice evening listening to music on YouTube is gone. Yeah, it's crap. It's all getting worse. Where do we get? Pull them onto this as well. Okay, right, that is it. I think we're up to date now, so let's take a look at this bloody case. I'm going to try and get it out now. So,
I apologise to Jose for taking so long.
yeah, I apologise, Jose. I'm saying that, I apologise, and I haven't even got it out of the box yet.
Move that cup, you're going to break.
You move the cup.
I can't get there, can I? I've got a cat on my lap.
Well, kill the cat.
Be so mean. Shouldn't say things like that in this.
Right, let's see. Oh, God. Oh, I'm glad I didn't tip this over, actually, because it's got my name and address on the bottom. Thermaltake UK Marketing Department. Is that going to smash open? No. Right. Cop
I
that.
haven't really got it now.
Sorry, it's empty.
It's a two-handed one.
It's a two-handed one, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a bit big, I need both hands. Okay, flame.
Shut that in there. Oh, you've closed it down already?
Oh, yeah. Okay, go now.
I'm getting a sweat on already.
Has he been yet?
Yeah. I'd imagine someone... Christ almighty. This thing is so heavy. Right. I'm trying to drop this now. Jesus Christ.
Ooh. Where's your mic?
I know, I'm going to stand on stuff. Oh, let's put it onto soft ground. Wow.
You've left sweaty fingerprints on it now.
I think you're going to be in reflecto pouring on there.
No.
Well, you have to move. There's not very much I can do. Right. I have to get my drink now. Oh dear. That is a big old case.
Where is the mouse on that? Oh yeah.
It's hidden.
Camouflage.
Right. Let's, how am I going to do this? Let's do to that camera there. Okay. So to give you an idea of it, hopefully the camera will focus at some point. So it is massive. Actually, if I get back a bit, so you can see in comparison, it's kind of, I know that's perspective, but it's almost twice as big as the case in the background. It is rather large. So on the top, I'll show you that now because it's going to be hard to show you later. So on the top, something actually super unusual is there are 4 USB 3.0 ports, plus a Type-C. That is extremely unusual. I don't know of any other case which does that.
Is it the same as the green one?
It's very similar to the green one, but not quite. But it's a similar sort of design ethic. So
You can get more
on the top,
crappy toys in it.
yeah, you've got this removable filter with the removable mesh on the back. And inside, you can see that it is an inverted ATX layout. So you can just see there, hopefully, that is where your PCI Express ports will be. So your kind of cables for your graphics card, etc., going to be coming out from in here, and that is going to be your rear I/O there. Sorry, the lighting isn't particularly good there, but yeah. So all the cables are going to go out through that trunk at the back, and then back down. So you might need longer cables for your keyboard, mouse, etc., or potentially even go wireless, which might be better. While we're on the top, we can see, so you've got a mounting area there. I can get a bit further up. So that is where you could put a radiator on the top. So you can get a 240 radiator on the top or a 280. I think 280. Maybe a 280 looks like it would be done. 240 or 280 in there, or just a couple of fans. And for the rest of it, I think we can do from on the floor. Well, not on the floor, because that would be stupid. But the rest of it, I think we can do from here. So let's
Get rid of the reflective one.
Let's get rid of the reflecto pouring because it upsets Calf. So again, that is the top section, which has got the built-in mesh. It's got a little bit of a... I've noticed a lot of the panels actually have got that kind of weird metal kind of twist to them, where they kind of want to be in a certain position, which isn't completely flat. But I suppose it doesn't make a great deal of difference. Try not to drop those. In order to take all the front panel off, you've got to remove the top. So the top this time round doesn't have the screws holding it in, which is the Tower 100 did. So you had 5 screws that held this part in place. I actually prefer this because this just pushes on, makes life a lot simpler. So if you do need to make any modifications or adjustments, and potentially depending on which colour you get, you could always obviously take it apart and give it a good spray paint.
Why don't you put it around your face, pretend you're on YouTube?
Fool. Right, so the side panels all lift out. I think they just pull out, so I don't think they need screws. No, that's right.
Where's the water filter? Let you feed them.
So the side panels are kind of interchangeable. So half of it is TG glass, well, 2/3 I suppose, or 5/8, probably 5/8. And the rest of it is this kind of Darth Vader's bathroom style. But there's also, everything which is ventilated is also meshed as well with filters, like nice nylon mesh. So potentially if you wanted more airflow, you could actually remove those parts just to let a little bit more airflow in. Now I'd be interested with Jose or Jose, or however you pronounce it, what your setup is. And those are all magnetic as well. I was thinking they were just going to be plastic, but they're actually plastic frames, but with magnets as well. So that's really cool. These bits, I don't think... Yeah, I suppose you could swap the sides, because that is something which did concern me. That in a lot of the literature, it shows it with a radiator on this side. So let's move these brackets out of the way. So these brackets here are for the radiators or for fan mounting. It's a shame they haven't kind of managed to integrate it somehow into the side bits here. I think they've missed a bit of a trick there. Because mounting fans directly to there would probably be a good idea, although saying that, taking them out would be a nulls. But anyway, so these brackets go on the inside. So there's various attachment points. So you can put your fans in there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So the radiator is going to be slightly offset. But if you do it in the default configuration, that is kind of like that. So the cooler or the fan or the radiator or whatever is basically just blowing hot air straight at the glass. So you probably want to turn that around, but I don't... Are they rotatable? I suppose it must be. Yeah, they are rotatable, so that would be the better option. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So now we've got... Oh, Christ, that's heavy. So now we've got the mesh part here. So if you've got a radiator or your fans there, it'll blow straight out through the side. And obviously you've got the glass there, so you are going to start to see some of the kind of the gubbins going on behind. Not the end of the world, but I suppose it's one of those things, they made it as modular as possible, but also at the same time there's going to be kind of compromises that have to be made in order to allow that level of flexibility. It is very heavy.
Jose says, all vents have magnetic filters. Yes, I have set up with the rad on the side high static pressure fans for sure. 2 fans in the PSU cover it as well.
Excellent stuff. I'll read that out shortly about that. That is, yeah, there's lots of different possibilities here which you could do. So the front panel fits on the side as well. So potentially you could, if you want to, put the other panels on. They're designed so that all 3 sides are interchangeable. They do also have, which we don't have, is an add-on unit which goes into this bottom section. So you can, if you want to, you can get like a little LED display which connects up onto a USB header, if you've got any left after all the USBs on the front. And you can connect it to the Thermaltake software, so you can display things like GPU temperature, CPU temperature, various different graphics, kind of pretty much mostly whatever you want. If you're a company or business, you could put a logo on there, that sort of thing. So there's lots of things that you can actually do with this. And I do like these rails. Those are quite an interesting... There's a screw in there. I'm trying to work out which way they go in. I suppose because of the fact it is so modular, you can kind of do really whatever you want with it, just to make it work for you, however. Although I think I would have liked to have seen 2 sets of these rails, because what I'm thinking of is potentially going down the air cooling route and having 3 fans on that side, 3 fans on this side, and having it just push pull straight through. So then we've got cool air coming in this side, maybe a little bit from the bottom, but then going straight into the graphics card here, and then washing over into the CPU area as well. But then also fans here pushing out the hot air coming off the VRMs and things like that. It's a very unusual kind of thing. I'm so used to designing or working with PCs with airflow when they're in that traditional format. So having something like this really does kind of throw somewhat of a curveball. Loads of mounting bits and pieces there, and some cable ties and all the kind of usual stuff there. Always nice to have. Let's take the other side glass panel off, and then hopefully that will reduce the weight of this thing considerably. So yeah, 3 removable side panels, all of them interchangeable, all of them apart from the front one having the extra ventilation in for the fans. So when you're actually building this thing, there is just so much room. It's incredible how much room it is. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera or not, but it says there, remark, A is for ATX, M is for micro ATX, and E is for extended ATX.
If you turn it around, you could probably see it.
So if you, not sure if that's going to, you might be able to see that. So yeah, there's loads of options for massive motherboards in here. So yeah, I like that. And also they've used the pillars as well that are, they've got the little notch in them. So it's kind of, the motherboard sits securely on there, locks itself in. All of the top connections, as you'd expect, they are all on thumb screws, although they've done them up ridiculously tight from the factory, as is often the case. I kind of like the way they've got the cables as well. So for routing the cables down to your USBs and stuff, you can take all that down through the back, route it in through the bottom. So we've got the rubber push-throughs there, or pass-through panels. And there's also one on this side as well for, this down here is going to be where your front panel I/O is going to be. So things like your USB headers, HD audio, and also possibly maybe even bringing up cable from there for your graphics card power, if you don't want to bring it from the bottom, depending how big your graphics card is. In fact, let's get a graphics card so we can compare and see what sort of sizes we're going to get in here. Because I am considering putting a triple fan card in there. But I'm guessing it'll fit, because they do show it with a 2080, I think, or 3080, which are generally quite a big card. So I think the 5700 XT is going to go in there very, very easily. Although saying that, it isn't that easy. So a triple fan is going to take you pretty much down to the bottom there. Let me grab a screwdriver. That's surprising, actually. I didn't think it was going to be that close. I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger than that for some reason. I think it would have been nice if they'd have done this case, but actually just chopped the front down a bit. So rather than having all this coming out here, just maybe cut it off at this kind of level. Maybe take off like 4 or 5 inches off the front. Just so it could fit on my shelf. So obviously we haven't got a, actually is that going to hold? Yeah. I think also it probably would have benefited from a vertical GPU mount as standard. Please don't fall. I know a 5700 XT isn't the kind of the cream of the crop, but it's mine. I don't want it damaged. So yeah, hopefully you can see that. Let me turn it around a bit more. This thing's getting so heavy. So yeah, it's kind of, it does make you wonder about the airflow. Because if you have the fans hit this side, obviously they are going to wash over there a little bit, but not a great deal. So really you're going to kind of want to have your fans or airflow intake on this side. But then you can't actually put the brackets to do that on that side. So yeah, it would have to be there. So I think the airflow is going to kind of bypass the graphics card. It's unusual because it's kind of, the way it's marketed is almost like it is an airflow case. but in quite a few reasons, or in quite a few ways, it seems that maybe it isn't. And there's no kind of obvious airflow path, because you've got all this ventilation in this section here. You can also mount fans in the bottom, either pulling in from the bottom or from this front section. So let me spin that around. So you can, if you want to. Oh God, nearly lost it. So you can have fans mounted in this bottom bit. Actually, let me take that out. How do I take that out? Is that a couple of screws? I think it is. So there's a screw on this side. Is that on screws? Oh yeah, they're on the bottom, I think. Put that one back in, because that is for the fan. That is for the fan frame. So there is a frame behind this section, which actually allows you to put in either a 240mm radiator, or two 120mm fans, or one 120mm if you wanted to. I guess that's up to you. This is always quite a scary thing with the graphics card just being hanging there. Ooh. So I have my thumb screw back. So let's tip this over. Actually, I might as well show you the bottom bit, haven't I? So on the bottom, Jesus Christ, I'm getting a sweat on here. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Welly Bob, £2. A bit bonkers to limit GPU length in that case. It is a little bit. And naked-HD, XYZ, sex dates, FUCK, overpriced Tinder. Yeah, it appears that the YouTube thing to stop spam isn't working, so well done YouTube. Once again, you've proved that you're completely inadequate at doing pretty much most things. Thank you for that. Anyway, that to the bottom. So thumb screw, which is over tightened, so it isn't a thumb screw, it becomes a regular screw. And then that bit you can just pull off again. So you've got a mesh section there. And there is a, again, removable magnetic filter, which is pretty cool actually. I do like that. That is pretty impressive. Let's put that down to one side. So you've got three of those, there's one on each side. All of them again, identical, from what I can tell. £20 from O'Reilly, thank you O'Reilly. Might keep the TT500 for yourself and do a custom cooling loop live streaming it. I might have to find a new desk if I do. It's alright. It's okay. Mike letter says if you use a case for parties, you might as well bring two 42-inch monitors with it. Yeah. Mark Point says, Mike, you're sewing your personal data. I probably am. Oh, my personal data is not very personal, to be honest. Most people know what I do and what I like, sadly. Right, so that's the three panels off. What is it? Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's on the... Oh, because I pressed the button. I got it, sorry. Towards a new desk from Ugly Bob. Thank you for that. O'Reilly says, yeah, we're looking at the stream chat. Sorry, yeah, that's my fault. The bloody case is so big that it's actually got a mind of its own and is attacking the stream deck.
It's worse than the poppy.
Right, I'm going to stick that there to prevent any further data breaches. Right. Hot. So on the bottom, ventilation there, so that's an intake section. Again, if you're going to put a radiator in the bottom, you can do. There's air intake there. You've got a nice filter for the power supply. Actually pretty decent as well. And again, mesh on a nice plastic runner. Nice feature. At the bottom there is the mounting section. So if you're planning to use Thermaltake's own water pumps, there are actually bits built into the bottom, so you can directly mount their water pumps and distribution areas, or distribution blocks, I suppose you call it, straight into the bottom of the case. It's designed specifically with that in mind. It is raised up a little bit. I'm not too sure how much. I'd say it's probably about 30 millimeters, maybe. No, about 27, 28 mil. So it's raised almost an inch off the deck by those legs, which is pretty cool. If we flip this back now, we can see what it's like inside more so. So you've got this section here. There are an absolutely insane amount of filters in this thing. It's like wherever you look, there is just another filter. So this section here, actually I might have to go to the C thingy camera. There we go. Hopefully, there we go. So you can see inside there, some better angle. So you can put two 140mm fans in this bottom section, or there's like a little TV screen which is an add-on which you can put in here. But yeah, you've got absolute tons of room in here for other things. So your power supply is going to be here. There's the power supply cutout, which hopefully you can make out from there. You've got extra sections there for putting water pipes through. So if your water reservoir is here, you can remove this top section here, so you can have your res coming straight up through. Or you can mount drives onto this section, so you can have 4 SSDs or 4 hard disk drives. So you can have one long ways, sideways, long ways, sideways for 3.5-inch drives, or you can just put 4 drives on there if you want to. But there's absolute tons and tons of room for all kinds of stuff. Give you another angle through there. You can see the back of the radiator mounting section there. So yeah, you can have the fresh air pulling straight in here. Where it's kind of going to go from there, I don't know. You'd have to have, I guess, some way of pulling the air up through. It does come with 2 fans included, which are bizarrely in the back here, which one's mounted there, one's mounted there. So once you've got your kind of motherboard there, although those are pushing out or exhausting, the kind of airflow patterns got to go around the outside of the motherboard and back around there, which isn't ideal. I'd probably move both of those fans to this top section and pull those out, put the fans in the top, have maybe a radiator in this bottom section, have it going up through, pulling through there, and then up through the top. But then also, if you've got too much pull, it's going to come through the sides as well. Oh dear.
So is it okay to wash this cup up in water?
Wash it up in water, not the dishwasher.
But I can get all of it wet.
Yeah. That work? If I turn that back on, am I losing my mind? Yes, very slightly. Anyway, so that is that bit so far. So if you want to take this bottom section out, if you need to do any modifications towards, maybe like I said, you're doing the water cooling thing with Thermaltake's water cooling solutions, which I've never actually used before, so I'm not entirely sure how good or bad. Christ, sorry, I keep on saying that. That is a really heavy, that's a proper chunk of metal. I was thinking there's going to be some flimsy stuff, but no, 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 sir. This is like proper solid gear. I kind of like that, how that fits into there. So it just rests on there, slots in the back. Very cool. I'll keep those screws there because I think that's something which I've noticed actually. Looks like a lot of the screws are different depending on what you're doing, which can be a little bit of a pain. This bit here, this bracket, there's 2 screws for that as well, I think. So you can pull this bracket out and you can actually flip it round. So you can actually have it horizontal or vertical. And thank you to Stuart Cleary. Where's my thing? There he is. Thank you for the super chat, €20. God bless you. Towards your physio bill after lifting that beast. I know.
That'll be me.
That'll be Kath. She'll probably get it.
No. I'll have to sort you out.
She'll have to sort me out. Aletta says, I'd love to have a play at modding this case. I'm not too sure what... Again, I'm still really not sure what to do or even where to even start thinking about what I would do in this case. There's so many things which are really super positive about it and very new and exciting and different, which I like. And some of the things they've done particularly well. like where they've got these sections here, the rubber grommets for passing through the cables, etc. Perfect cutouts here for, that's where your CPU is going to be, so for running through RGB and fan connections to maybe some kind of fan hub, that sort of thing is great. I love the section here for the pass-throughs for the front I/O. I think that's just proper genius. I like that a lot. And also the ones that are hard to connect, often the USB Type 3, which is going to be around about here, generally on most motherboards, having these little pass-throughs where it's all going to be kind of hidden is really good indeed. I'm not entirely convinced that I like the inverted EATX layout with everything facing upward. I kind of think the graphics card looks a little bit weird. I think it would look a lot nicer if they'd have maybe included a riser, so then you could have the graphics card kind of like on this angle, just to space out a bit, because it does seem that the system in their kind of default configuration is going to be really kind of side heavy. So you can have your graphics card here kind of central, then you can have your CPU cooling situation and potentially your radiator over this side. You could put it over the other side, but then you might find it interfering with the graphics card. So realistically, I think for most people, the cooling situation is going to be over this side, either here or here. Potentially at the top, I don't know, maybe. The top probably would make more sense, I think. In actual fact, yes, I think it probably would. Having a top-mounted radiator here would probably be the ideal situation, because it's going to then clear the motherboard and CPU area quite nicely. Maybe. No, Poppy's here.
She didn't like it.
She's not impressed. It's not Poppy friendly. She doesn't like it. Yeah, it does raise an awful lot of challenges. And my biggest problem is if I don't see straight away that there is kind of like a real light at the end of the tunnel, I find it really hard to get enthusiastic about a case. Like, for some cases, I look at them and I think, right, this is ridiculously cheap. It's going to be awful. It should suck. But then it's like, actually, it's not bad, and it's only cost me, I don't know, 20, 30 quid or something. In which case then I can see that I've made something from something which is kind of almost disposable. The price on this is what is kind of the big stumbling block, in my opinion. Not for any other reason other than the fact that there are a lot of uncertainties. I don't know whether it's just because I'm not a particularly creative person, so I'm not seeing the kind of the bigger picture here. But it's £200 in the UK at the moment. That is the launch price, £200. If you want the added extras, such as the front mounted panel with the LCD on there, that's another £100 for an LCD display. So it's definitely £200 worth of case, because it's just their usual Thermaltake build quality. But I don't know if they've actually given maybe too much flexibility with this case. I don't know. I think I still need to really sit down and figure out what to actually do with it. I would genuinely love to do a proper water cooling build with one of their radiator combo things going on. But I think at the moment, with the things as they are with the economy, like to sync probably, if I did a water cooling loop, a proper water cooling loop in here, using Thermaltake's ecosystem, I'm unlikely to get change out of probably 500 quid, maybe 6. So 600 quid to cool a processor and a graphics card possibly is a lot of money. And there's a lot of people that don't spend that much on an entire system. And that is the thing that concerns me the most, that it's a case for people that are creative. If you just want a case for putting your PC in and enjoying games, it kind of isn't that. It's more of a show PC.
Stuart Cleary says definitely worth 200 smackaroonies.
It's,
he could double glaze it.
yeah, Stuart should double glaze it. let's take a look at the back, and you can have another look at the other 50 quid's worth of the case.
It could fit a patio door in it.
So on the back you've got, well actually first of all obviously you've got a huge ventilation area there. So yeah, there's not much more I can say apart from, yes, you've got absolutely huge ventilation there, and you've got some really nicely done captive screws in there which don't want to fall out. The panel itself is really well made. Yeah, it's a usual Thermaltake thing where it's been made particularly well. Let's put that down there. Okay, so take a better look. So we've got our power supply mounting cage here. So again, take out a couple of screws. I'm actually trying to work out where the screws are for that. Oh yeah, down on the side. So there's 2 screws each side. So let's get to that. Again, thumb screws which are machined tight. In fact, they've done again, sometimes like, I think they do things which probably aren't necessary. Like, I'm guessing this obviously is a modular case of some sorts from another design somewhere. But why would you bother having a removable power supply cage there when you could have just put that in? It's not like you're going to be putting the power supply somewhere else. So it's just something else you've got to do. So you put your power supply into here, put 4 screws in, you then put it into there and put your 2 screws back in, which is a bit pointless really. Why not just put your power supply in and be done with the 4 screws? Also, the pessimist in me, it's like you can't really get to the screws with a regular screwdriver because the fans are in the way. It's a stupid thing, I know. I'm being very, very petty. But it's a £200 case. Like, you think what else there is on the market for £200 that you could buy. So Corsair 5000D.
Does it fit all PSUs?
It does fit all PSUs, not as standard. So if you wanted to use an SFX power supply, you would need an adapter to make it smaller. But if you're using a regular ATX power supply, then this will fit any ATX power supply. Because of the amount of depth there, then you've got up to, let me see, roughly, you could get a power supply in there which is about 12 inches in depth, or 300 mil. Most power supplies are in about the 165 to maybe 185, 190. So even with that, there's still quite a lot of room there. Something to consider if you do want to have the radiator in the bottom mounted horizontally, that is going to eat into your power supply space a little bit. It's not going to be hugely detrimental, I don't think, but certainly something to be considerate of. So fans, Thermaltake's TT1225s, which are kind of common or garden 3-pin fans. Like, I know they're included free of charge, kind of. They're included in the price, but 3-pin fans, PWM, come on, at least. You've got hard drive cages here, so you can put in 1, 2, I'm trying to work out, actually, yeah, 4 on the bottom, so you can have up to 8 drives in here. So this will take 2.5 inch drive in that section, 2.5 inch in there, and a 3.5 behind it. So you can stack drives up in there, so 4 drives just in this back area, another 4 in the front as well. So yeah, you can put a ton of drives in there. You could if you want to, I suppose. There's a little bit of kind of dead space here, so you could put things in there, although that's probably going to lend itself really well to things like fan hubs, controllers, that sort of stuff. They could be tucked in there quite easily, although you might run pipes through there of some sort, I guess. You can actually, from what I recall, I'm pretty sure you can remove this entire section. I'm going to undo these screws. I think the whole thing does come out, the whole bracket. That's on a captive screw as well. See if there's another screw, or that is just it. I think that might be just it. Oh, yep, that does. So yeah, that entire section comes out completely as one unit, so you can get a better look there. So if you want to as well, you can take these fans out and replace them with 140s. So the bracket which is there, You could put a 140 on the inside bit, or you could do it on the outside. You can see there's extra holes there and there. And you can see a bit better there the drive caddies. So you might even be able to get 2 drives in there, 2 SSDs per caddy, because there's quite a bit of depth there. In fact, actually you can, yeah. You can get 2 SSDs in there, or 2 2.5 inch drives, and then also 3.5 inch drives below that. So potentially 8 2.5 inch drives on its own, plus another 2 3.5s. And those cages are actually removable as well. So you can take the screws out there if you want to and remove those entirely.
Are you 3 foot tall, or is that case massive?
I'm 3 foot tall. No, this case is massive. It is absolutely ridiculous how big this case is. But it's nice that this bit comes out, because then if you're working on stuff at the back here,
It makes you look taller.
it makes me look taller as well. But yeah, for getting access to all your things, putting all that in, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's not necessary, but it's a welcome addition. Does it go back in easily? That is the question. And in fact, where did it go in? Right, let's have a look. Where's the screws? Tell you what, if I put it in around the right way.
Stop saying screws.
Screws, why?
I've got to keep you in order.
Okay. Where does that bit actually go?
Too many parts and pieces for me to lose, Bill Taylor.
I kind of, yeah, I know what you mean, Bill. Where does that go? Where's the screw holes? Ah, there we are.
Now you're saying screws and holes.
Screws and holes, holes and screws. We got screws and holes. There we go. Thumb screws up there are probably not the greatest ideas because you can't actually get to it. No, you can't, so you have to use a screwdriver anyway.
How would you connect so many drives to motherboard?
Some motherboards have got that amount of SATA connections, or you'd have like some kind of controller. You can buy PCI Express to SATA controllers, like RAID adapters. Most people won't, obviously. I would argue that probably a good 90 to 95% of users of this case would probably not have a single mechanical drive in there. I think the majority of people building in this would probably go with NVMe drive. Actually, Jose, if you're still with us, what drives did you have in your machine? I did have a look earlier, but I don't recall what you actually said, or if you indeed said it. You did mention about your fan setup. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Aletta says, I'm thinking about designing and building my own case. I would love to do that. I would take an existing design on the market and just change it to make it better. It's not hard to do. Maybe,
start singing then.
Maybe expensive. God, that's hot.
Take a bad case and make it better.
Take a bad case, make it better. And I've got about 7 different songs, all overlapped, and none of them sounded in tune. Not one. Here is the Mandalorian cup with the lady on there, which has been banned.
So what, she got naked?
No, she's
What happened to her when it went hot?
I think she's a Republican.
What happened to her when it got hot?
Nothing. It is hot now. She's visible, but I think when it gets cold, she disappears. Like my dick when it's cold.
Your sausage.
My thick dicky.
Can you sing head, shoulders, knees and screws?
Head, shoulders, knees and screws. Knees and screws. No. I'm not some kind of performing monkey. I am actually. That's bloody hot. Okay, so...
If it wasn't hot, the woman would be on there.
No, but
So when she disappears, you can drink it.
It's hot, hot, hot. Like, proper hot. What else have we looked at? Right, let's have a look at the bottom now. So this is the I/O section. Get a better idea now of what's going on. So at the top, we've got the fan mounting areas for 120s, 140s, or radiators. Not entirely sure what this bit would be, but there is mounting sections there. So, I suppose you could put a fan down there as well, like a 120 or 140 there, if you didn't want to do it across there, which then would be over the top of the VRMs, which would kind of make good sense. I/O section there, Obviously, removable PCI Express blanking plates. A little pass-through at the bottom there for RGB doodars if you wanted to. And some more pass-through holes for cabling, etc, etc, etc. I'm pretty sure, I think this bit comes out as well, this whole frame comes out. Yeah, there's a screw there, there, and there, so yeah, this whole bit comes out, the top section. I don't know really why you'd want to. Maybe, I don't know. Yes, it is somewhat of a, it's a bizarre case. The Tower 100 was bizarre also, but it kind of, because of the way it was designed, it was like, right, this is what you are going to do with this case. Whereas with this, I think it opens up a lot of possibilities. Possibly a little bit too many for my tiny little Brian to cope with. And YouTube's telling me to insert an ad. No. They'll penalise me for that because I've clicked on it twice now to say no. They were like, Mike's Unboxing don't do ads.
Don't do as he's told.
Do as you're told. Anyway, Raz906 says it looks like a 3D printer. It does.
Is it a removable motherboard tray?
No, the motherboard tray is, just double checking, yes, the motherboard tray is riveted into place. To be fair, actually, the motherboard tray itself and most of the back section are the only things which are actually riveted solid. Everything else is kind of removable, even the rails along this back section. There are those rivets or those screws? No, they are riveted, sorry. No, ignore me. No, these are riveted as well. So yeah, it's sorry, I'm just reading that about Stuart Cleary. What's he done?
I don't know.
He's on the 5th of July 2022, after 3 years of shutdown, the LHC will return with a new energy world record of 13.6 trillion electron volts in its first stable beam collision.
That's too complicated.
Oh, the Large Hadron Collider thing. Yeah.
It's complicated for my Brian.
That confused me there. There was too many words going on. Yeah, that will be that'll be an interesting one. The last time they collided things at CERN was 2012, I think, and since then the world has been very, very different. I'm actually sure that we're in a parallel universe, but anyway, I digress.
Would an A320L with Ryzen 3 1200 fit?
An A320 with a Ryzen, yeah. Who asked that?
Nick Barnes.
Nick Barnes. Yes, it would.
It was,
Yes, Mr. Barnes. It would very much fit. You may have a little bit of spare room also.
The Corsair 7000X is 199 at the moment.
So yeah, the 7000X. If you want to go down a more traditional route, which, I don't know. I think if I had room, like
I like the look of it.
I do,
personally.
yeah, I do appreciate the look of it. My initial concern is the fact that physically it just will not fit on the desk here, which is where I intended it to go. My next concern is easy access to the USB ports, which on that PC I'm plugging stuff in 2-3 times a day at least.
Put it on your head and sing Every Day I'm Shuffling.
I think it'd be too heavy for my head. I think it'd snap my neck. Yeah, accessing the USB ports would be a bit of a pain. You can always run a hub out, I suppose. But then when you're spending this sort of money, do you want to do that? It isn't a practical case, I don't think, personally. If you've just got a system, you've set it up and you're just going to leave it as it is, it's interesting looking, it's different, it's obviously going to be unique. By the time you've built it, it's unlikely anyone else is going to have a system even remotely like it, because it is that kind of thing, isn't it? It is very, very specific to the individual. These things are kind of cool. I do like the removable bits and the fact that it is so kind of mesh-ilicious. Oh, where's the hole? There it is.
Go and get it in, Babs.
Get it in. There we go. Reza says, would an old Optiplex 710 motherboard with an i5 2400 fit in it? Yes, quite possibly. Have you noticed? I've noticed, you might not have noticed because you don't care, bastards. I can actually read the text on that screen from here. That's quite impressive.
Is that what I'm doing to you?
Yeah, my eyesight is actually getting better. My throat's knackered,
You're welcome.
but my eyesight is getting better. I'm not even squinting at it either, actually, I don't think.
Work on one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, my eyesight is actually, that's pretty cool. Let's move this round. I don't...
Sorry.
I nearly went then. That would have been disaster.com.
That would have been right on your sausage.
Yeah, there's a lot of elements of this which is a really cool design. I'm sorry if I'm blowing hot and cold on this, I really am. I don't think I'd be doing myself or you lot justice if it was just the case of, right, I got this from Thermaltake, happy, 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 smiley, 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 this is the best thing since sliced bread. Because I don't think, there isn't a perfect case, there really isn't. And in order to kind of get to be where we want to be with the perfect case, we have to try lots of different things and trial and error. And I will be doing a build in this, no doubt. And I'm not entirely sure what is going to go in it. I'm very...
Film it.
Yeah, I have got... Yeah, when it comes to filming it, I've got no clue where or how I'm going to film it. I've got
some budget like this.
I might have to end up filming it actually in the other room, so you can get the camera further away. Or it might work there it might work there on a tripod. It might work.
You could stream on that little PC.
I could. Right, let's get this back together.
What have we got in there? Is it the air fryer?
Yeah. Don't call it the air fryer. It's the InWin
B1?
B1, yeah. I had to look up the box then. I can't read that from here. Yeah, the InWin B1, the air fryer. Oh, I've just killed the bloody thing. There's £5, I think, from a rally. I just want to see it.
Sorry, Flame's not going to be happy with this one.
Mike, the next case for you to review should be the Lian Li large case. Value about £200. I would love for you to compare build quality to Thermaltake. I'm pretty sure the Lian Li build quality is very similar, if not arguably, possibly slightly better than Thermaltake, from what I've heard. The only Lian Li case that I've had two Lian Li cases. One was ages ago, which was their all aluminium one, which was extremely impressive, and the other one was the 215, which is basically a kind of like a Chinese clone, which about 5-6 different companies have all done. So I wouldn't, well, I'm almost 100% certain that the 215 is not actually made by Lian Li. It's simply they've just put their badges on it and kind of told the company what spec to make it. But still, a very good case. The 215, I really liked it. It's the same case as the, what's it called, the GameMax F15, which is also a very good case. To be honest with you, the F15 and the 215, arguably, in terms of value for money, airflow, and oh Christ, all that other stuff, I would say they are possibly still my favourite cases as of yet. The Kuro W7 is also one which I'd put up on that list as well, from Ions. That is basically using the same design, just different fans. Thank you for the super chat to Stuart Cleary, €20, says, because of your selfless non-compliance to advert inclusion.
Oh, sorry, Flame.
Wow, that's lots of words there. Hang on, I have to digest that.
It's Stuart Cleary's.
Stuart Cleary has done it again. So, because of your selfless non-compliance to avert inclusion. Oh, advert inclusion.
So
I think I get that. I think I understand what that means.
because you're not putting adverts in,
Oh, right, yeah.
basically.
Thank you. I'm not putting adverts in because I'm not a soulless shill. Well, I kind of am, but I play it down. Right, let me get this thing out of the way a minute. Oh. I'll get Kath to put it back in the box. Yeah, I think I've got more chance of winning the lotto. I haven't even bought a ticket. Right, actually, tell you what, I'm just going to put it down to the side for now. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dark.
Not now while I'm moving the case. Oh.
Oh, that's the rubbish place to put it. I can't do the lights now.
Well, you feel free to move it. There's another super chat from Michael Thompson. Sent us in $2 Australian. Thank you very much, sir. It says towards a Raspberry Pi build in this case. Wouldn't that be fun? Our friend Adam over at Thermaltake UK, if I did a Raspberry Pi build in it, I think
he'd laugh.
I think he would absolutely wet his pants. Because he's got a pretty good sense of humour.
That's broken, isn't it?
Yeah, so all right.
It's because it knows I'm leaning.
You've broken the super chat machine.
Is that right, man?
Oh, that's right. It says it there. I was looking. Why does it not say on the screen the chat thing? But it has got it there. That's right. Okay, so real talk. What do you think of the case, the Tower 500? And would you, if it was out of your own pocket and your own money, would you go out and buy a whole bunch of Thermaltake water cooling equipment and do a proper balls to the wall hard tube setup with your own money? And I'm not saying like, would you do it, or would you like to watch someone do it for entertainment purposes, because that's a different thing. Would you, with your own money, would you do it? Because effectively that is what is kind of be my swaying factor. I would like to do it. If I had the parts, I would honestly like to do it. But I feel that spending kind of £500–600 on a water cooling setup is a little bit too much of a luxury. And I think for a lot of people actually this time in the world is almost a bit like a slap in the face. I don't know. Maybe I worry a little bit too much about people that have got less. But I do have that kind of, there's that subconscious thing in my brain that always tells me that there's people out there that are like really on the borderline of kind of just staying afloat. And doing some really elaborate system, PC build, it doesn't feel right to me. It really doesn't. But I don't know. I want to know what you guys are saying. Aletta says, I like the case and would have no problem putting $800 into water cooling parts. I kind of knew that was going to come through. Nick Barnes says, sorry, no, in my opinion, it's overkill for normal use. Rather have the money on GPU and CPU. Defo showcase for money, no object. Yeah, that's kind of my oh, I've put that together wrong. Carry on talking amongst yourselves. I've got to take this case apart. It's broken. I haven't actually checked with Adam from Thermaltake to see when he wants this case back. If he does actually want it back. Whether or not it's ours for the keeping.
As we get plans for it.
Yeah. Which is kind of also another reason why I'm deliberating on what to actually do in it. Because if we're going to be keeping it, then there's a stronger chance that I might do something a little bit more elaborate in it. But if it's got to go back anyway, it's like, well, do I want to go crazy buying a lot of expensive water cooling stuff when we might have to send it back anyway?
Has it got dust filters on every orifice?
It has dust filters on... The only orifice it doesn't have on that I can tell would be the... There's the camera. Hi. Would be on the IO shield and also the PCI Express blanking plates. Other than that, everything else is filtered. You could argue the case that because the top is covered, it will do it there. So that will keep some of the dust out. When it comes to dust prevention, I think it's going to be amazing. I don't think you're going to get much dust in there at all. But I think also that is potentially because of the fact that the airflow is kind of a little bit confused. or at least it could be, depending on how you build it. It probably could do with like just one massive 200mm fan on the top, just pulling all the air out and just use all the filtered areas as intakes. That would be kind of a good idea. But I don't know. I'm still very confused about it. I am. Welly Bob says F15 for the win. Yes, a white one would be nice actually. John Sullivan says I'm not really bothered about water cooling. Not into. Sorry, I'm not really bothered about water cooling. I'm just of the opinion that water and electronics don't mix. That is very true. That is why you should never drink a cup of tea next to your computer. That is generally deemed as a bad thing.
Can you fit your 200mm fan in there?
Can you? No. No, the 200mm Noctua fan, I still haven't found anywhere where that goes. I did try it with the GameMax Black Hole, which we've had recently. Doesn't fit in there either. Welly Bob says, done custom cooling, too much faff for me, who swaps stuff all the time. Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, yes, he didn't like water and electricity, they didn't mix particularly well. Danielle, how you doing, Danielle? Case looks appropriate for someone that is very, very creative, that wants to display something in addition to traditional PC parts. I got to be honest with you, I'm very much agreeing with that. I think it is one of those designs that kind of, if you just did a bog standard build in it, I don't think it would do it justice. But conversely, I don't think people that were just going to do a bog standard build in it would buy that kind of case, because they would go for the tried and tested route, like the 4000D, the 5000D, the 215, the GameMax F15, the Fantex 500, all those kinds of cases. Michael Thompson says soft tubing allows for water cooling and easy change of parts. Actually, that's something which I would probably like to ask, which I think I know the answer to already, but I would benefit from your lot experience actually. This is me asking you questions now. So when it comes to water cooling, if you buy water cooling parts, the fittings, from what I gather, they're specific. So if you have hard tubes, you have hard tube fittings. If you have soft tube, you have soft tube fittings. But is there a company which does a combo, which works with both? Because that could actually be quite a valuable thing. I don't think it exists, but I could be wrong. Lucky Man says, you were correct, Mike. Curved monitors mess with your eyes. They do. If I try and use Kath's computer now, from a distance it's okay. From a distance, no, oh God, Cliff Richard. If you go onto Kath's monitor, if I get close to it now, because it's a traditional flat screen, it looks like it's convex. It looks like the front is sticking out more and the back is kind of folding backwards, because I'm so used to using my monitor. Wild Bill says, maybe you should do a build in it as a collaboration with a knowledgeable guest. That's not a bad idea actually. I'm trying to think who in the kind of YouTube type community or that I know that was water cooling. Like obviously Aletta would be a perfect choice, but I can't see there being a cat in hell's chance of Aletta getting on camera. And even less chance of her getting anywhere near a microphone, yes. Dutch Jan says, nope, no one. No, I don't think there would be. Yeah, hard tube fittings and soft tube work.
Go to Carrie's house.
Go to Kerry Holzman's house. Let's go to Kerry's. Let's all go to Kerry's.
Share a rusty can of Pepsi bottle.
Yeah, the hard tube fittings and soft tube fittings work differently. Yeah, because the soft tube one has to, from what I can gather, clamp the plastic, whereas with hard tubes, because they are brittle, they clamp the rubber O-rings rather than being the pipe itself, whereas the soft tube ones clamp the pipe and also the bushes, I think. Michael Thompson says I go soft tubing for my EATX builds. I think a soft tube build I probably would prefer to do. But then if soft tube fittings are roughly the same as hard tube fittings in terms of cost per fitting, which I think they pretty much are, I don't think there's a great deal of difference in it. When you're paying that sort of money, you might as well just go for hard tube. Welly Bob says to start with water cooling loop, definitely start with soft tubes. Lucky Man says soft matte black. Soft matte black fittings, that might be quite cool. Dave Jock says I can use the Thermaltake Tower as a drinks cooler. Black hole's getting a wee bit boring to look at. It's not a bad idea actually. Captain Robius says see if Thermaltake will send one of their all-in-one kits. I kind of would, yeah, I think I've hinted at it before to Adam from Thermaltake. I'm not sure if I did or not. I think I was thinking about it. Like, I wouldn't mind if they if I could get a discount. I did ask, didn't I?
No, you asked PC Silentium, is it? Silentium PC?
No, it was the other one, wasn't it? It was...
Jellied?
Who was the brand that looked like a monkey on the box? Olzai. Olzai do a soft tubing kit, like a custom soft tubing kit. And I said, like, can I get hold of it? But it seems that they haven't had it certified for shipping over here, bizarrely. So I'm still waiting on that one. Soft matte black is nice. I used to know someone called Pat Black, and he had a son called Matt and Jet. No lies.
I'm joking. You make these up.
And what was his other? His other son was Connie, or Comrade. He was German. Well, his wife was. Hello to Wildlife Snapper, how you doing? Acrylic tubing does look cool. I quite like, I hate to say it, but I did like Bitwit's Prometheus, or Chrometheus he called it, because he used those chrome finish hard tubes. That did look very nice. But I'm getting to the point where I'm struggling to watch the content now because it's so out of touch with the real world. Like, he found a spare RTX 2080 Ti Strix that was still factory sealed that he'd never opened. It's like, there's people around the world who would happily donate body parts to own that graphics card. It's like, oh, it was just there. I forgot. Them and us, eh kids? Them and us. Wildlife Snapper says I'm only half as intelligent as I was because I had a wisdom tooth removed. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Captain Robius says sod the water cooling, seal the unit up and go for a mineral oil cooled PC. That is something which I've always liked the idea of, a mineral oil cooled PC. They do look mental. They really do look mental. Proper fish tank PC. Yes, I would like to do that, genuinely. Raleigh, what's he saying? Oh. Michael Thompson says Bitwit has become nitwit these days.
On here with you.
Yeah, sidekick Uggs. Uggs, I would quite happily do that. Bob can come down here and do the water cooling. And imagine that, us two. Be like a right old show. There'd be him cussing and blinding and farting. And there'd be me just like panicking when he's getting water all over all the kit.
Poppy's scared now.
Poppy would be leaving home. She's thinking, oh God, is ugly Bob, he's come for me.
She liked him last time. But
she did actually.
She doesn't like people now. which is good because we've lost one.
Cheers, Benny Hill. Ugly Bob says I can't watch Bitwit nowadays. I do struggle. I do find it entertaining at times, and I think actually his setup, his whole studio, is really cool, and I do like it. I think he's got some really nice ways of showing parts, and the way he films stuff I think is really good. But it just, yeah, I think he had like 4 or 5 2080 Ti's on a shelf, and it's like I know they're all the YouTubers are like it, and I guess they struggle because they can't kind of sell it. They can give it away, but then it's probably more hassle than it's worth. So I do feel for them in that respect, but kind of don't show it off. Modesty. I'm not sure if is it a British thing, modesty, or is that xenophobic or something? I think we as British people being more kind of reserved and probably arguably more conservative in terms of not political, but conservative as in the way we are as people. I think we tend to be a little bit more modest, if possible. I don't know. Maybe not. Ugly Bob, he can do his Carlton dance.
What is that?
The Carlton dance. You'd have to watch it. O'Reilly says I would do a £20 super chat now if Uggs and Mike agreed to do a custom cooling loop with the TT Power 500. I think it's going to take a couple of noughts on the end of that one, I'm afraid, O'Reilly.
The cost of petrol.
Yeah, the cost of petrol alone just to get Bob down here is going to cost us at least £1,000. Dave Jock says, Bob, why do you call yourself ugly? You're beautiful. Bob, I'll let you have the floor on that one. Bob says, yeah, we don't tend to flaunt it much. I think that is the difference, yeah, we don't. Paul Lamont says, I struggle with Jay's 2 pence, to be fair. Yeah, Jay, I'm not sure if this kind of, it's definitely a more of a kind of, I guess, partly a regional thing, because if you're watching this channel, you're probably a strong chance you're over in Europe or the United Kingdom, possibly the States as well. If you're watching from the States, you're probably someone who is slightly, like us, like slightly more conservative, like not as showy, possibly. I don't know, I'm probably generalising there. But yeah, I think a lot of the American channels, because they're kind of very enthusiastic, very glitzy, showy, all that kind of stuff. It's part of the American culture. Like, look at custom cars in America. Very similar to the Japanese car scene where it's modified stuff everywhere. In the UK, people generally, as a rule, rarely modify their cars other than possibly putting alloy wheels on or something.
If you see a car like that, it's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, look at that.
A modified car in the UK is a rarity. Unless you go to certain areas like London or something, where people are kind of passing through, showing off. Some city centres will be like it. But in general, in a normal street in the United Kingdom, it's unlikely there's going to be a heavily modified car in any street. Whereas I think in the States, it tends to be more of a kind of, that's almost the first thing you do when you get a car is modify it. So we are, although we're very similar and we are cousins, we're also quite different as well. Which is why I think we don't quite understand or relate as well to some of the American content as we would. Lucky Man says Jay's reverting to cheap builds now. Good for him. John Sullivan says I've gone off a lot of tech channels. It's a very, very hard thing to do at the moment because the core market, the main demographic for the tech space is those Halo products, like high-end processors, tons and tons of water cooling. That is what YouTube is promoting because they feel that that is the kind of the cream of the crop. So if you're doing budget stuff more so, unless you're in a specific niche or you've got a decent following already, it's really hard to break out. But yeah,
I'm like really pushing it. I just got to come up on my phone, like a free trial of something or other from YouTube.
Yeah, YouTubers
And
just pushing stuff all the
just
time now.
leave me alone.
O'Reilly says, I only look at other YouTube tech channels for specific content. It turns up a search result. Otherwise, I am Mike and Mub all the way. And any Mub affiliate channels. Bless you. Thank you, O'Reilly. That is very kind of you. I think that's I'm Kath. We're just normal people. We're everyman, or the everyman. So we're just the normal. I'm just a normal person. I'm not anything special. I don't have any like media connections as such. Kind of, well, I do a bit, but I don't. I'm just a normal bloke doing things in a normal way, and I think that kind of relates to a lot of people because it's stuff that you want to do.
Sometimes we get cases.
Yeah, every now and then we get cases like which are kind of slightly upmarket or Halo products, but it's a rarity. Yeah, and actually quite often a lot of them I don't like. There's been a few which I had, like the P6 and the P8 Thermaltakes. Both of those were cool. I'm still tempted to get a P3. Is it a P3? Yeah, P3. Maybe. Anyway.
No, definitely not rich tea or boost digestives.
Dutch Jan says something. Actually, yeah, after being divorced, Bitwit is not the same anymore. I am tempted to agree with you on that. I think that hit him very hard. I would say for a lot of people, especially YouTube people who are on camera, all of us are to some extent more or less struggling internally with a lot of kind of stuff. And that's what normally, like most actors, if you see on TV, people become actors because they have low self-esteem. And being an actor allows them to then be someone else. And they actually excel at it because it takes them away from themselves. So they can pretend to be somebody else. So I think YouTubers in general kind of have a slight element of that as well. The kind of the lack of self-esteem, I suppose it would be more so. And by doing this, it forces you to have a bit more of a self-esteem and to be a little bit more sociable or a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a little bit more of a personality. So you just have to amp your personality up a few more notches. Some people do it more than others. I'm someone who's mentally, I'm up and down all over the place. So one day I could be the life and soul. Next day I can be the most horrible person in the world. Kath will vouch for that. It does happen. I'm a normal human being. But I try not to let it spill over onto camera too much if I can possibly help it. But yeah, I think in fairness to Bitwit and for anyone else who's been through some form of bereavement, loss, separation, etc., it hits you hard. And very rarely are you the same person after that's happened. So yeah, I would agree that that has certainly been a factor. I don't think it's to his detriment, to be honest with you. I think he has possibly dialed things back a little bit. Even though still kind of he's doing the Halo products and a little bit out of touch of what is going on financially in the world, I think he has dialed back his kind of persona a little bit. Which I personally, it's okay. I can watch it. I don't think I can watch it all the time. But every now and then it's very interesting to watch. Welly Bob says, best tech tubers, I've stuck with Paul's Hardware and obviously Mike's Unboxing. Thank you very much. I like Paul's Hardware. I do actually genuinely. Paul's Hardware, he comes across as, I think we're very similar. He's kind of quite level-headed. I don't think he's overly impressed with these Halo products, but he enjoys it and it's cool. And the fact that he gets sent them for free so he can play with them is great. But I feel if you see some of it when he does it, you can see that he's doing it because he has to do it. And it's almost like, oh, here we go again. But he does it in such a comedic way that it's actually still enjoyable to watch, which is the important bit. Kath Churchill says, hi Michael, I'm here. Hello.
Not you, the other one.
Oh, talking to other Michael. Oh. You're talking to Michael Dunn, are you? Who's even suggesting Dawid does tech? I'll just go. I'm not needed anymore. Dave Jock says, my Saphira looks great. My Instagram is just photos of my cars.
I had a Saphira for 12 years.
We had a Saphira.
It was a workhorse.
It was.
Yeah.
Moved house twice in that car.
Sunbed the lot in it.
It was great. Welly Bob says, I'm not interested in stuff I'll never build. Unless... sorry, I don't understand that, but that's all I spend money on, PC tech and nothing else, like food and rent. Minthawk says, hi everyone, how you doing, Minthawk? William Bodie says, Triumph Dolomite Sprint is a great UK car. Yeah, it was actually a very cool car. Letter says, to Dutch Jan, that's true, wifey sauce wrecked him. Yes. Hey, there's the naked HD things again. F off.
I've hidden them from channel, but I had spacky hands and I unhid them and then hid them again.
Chris Herford says, I've got a PC at the moment, won't recognise the Windows install, showing no system disk. You might, if you've taken it from another computer, it might be the fact that you need to enable CSM or compatibility mode in your BIOS. If it's a newer GPT or UEFI based system, you might need to do that. Is that me with the thing?
Love it.
Hold on, is that Bob?
Yeah.
Would be, wouldn't it? Captain Robius says, as a person who tried to do his own channel, it is hard to get it up. Oh, and running, dedicated time to do it. Get it up and running, sorry. Let me start that again. Captain Robius says, as a person who tried to do his own channel, it is hard to get it up and running and dedicated time to it. Okay. Droner says, I still love my Cooler Master Storm Striker in white that I bought 10 years ago for 160 quid. Looks like new. Wow. John Sullivan says, I know a lot of people like random gaming in HD, and I understand why. I just find this content a bit niche, i.e. only helpful if you have that particular spec and that GPU, not helpful for benchmarking. Yeah, random gaming in HD, it's, I've spoken with him once or twice. In fact, I've actually got one of his hats here, which was gifted to us from Ugly Bob, believe it or not. Yeah, it's... I struggle with the channel in a lot of ways that he has kind of broken through the mould in a massive way and has appealed to a really, really wide, diverse range of viewers, but in such a kind of low-key way, if that's even the right word to use. So like filming from kind of his nan's living room or whatever, although he's got his own house now, so obviously yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. Yeah, filming on really kind of old hardware and stuff. And again, kind of similar to what we're doing, where we're looking more at the kind of the everyman level, so stuff that is actually affordable. He does throw in the odd Halo product there every now and then, or some sort of upper market stuff, which is cool, which kind of, I can't disagree with that at all. But yeah, it's a very interesting thing, because it's kind of generally as well the same kind of few games played on various graphics cards and giving comparisons and benchmarks and stuff. Although the benchmarks are kind of what you get rather than what you'd get with something else. But yeah, there's something extremely endearing about him that kind of, there's almost like a naivety to his personality, which just, you kind of watch it and you know that he's got no kind of, no agenda, no game plan. He just loves tech and loves playing with graphics cards and buying used stuff on eBay. And it comes through completely on screen. So yeah, fair play to him. Generally fair play. He does really well. Every video he does gets tens of thousands of views. Yeah, he's absolutely smashing it, and fair play, because he's doing it in such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Humble. He's doing it in such a humble way that it's just like, this is me, laid bare, this is how it is. He throws in a little bit of humour every now and then, even though he's a little bit kind of, he plays it quite straight, or quite kind of deadpan, but then throws in a little bit of comedy, and I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but whatever he does, yeah, it's awesome. did I get to? Chris Hartford says the drive showing the BIOS plugged in okay. Maybe it's your boot order. Might be worth looking at your boot order, making sure that if you've got more than one drive that it's selecting the right one with Windows on. William Bodie says, did you ever look up the Larkbox Pro? No, I don't think I have. What was that? You'll have to remind me of that again. Dave Chalk says, hi YouTube, hope you're having a nice day. A great day rather. Michael Thompson says, I've been subbed to Random Gaming in HD for many years now and love his content. Not for everyone. I love his content as not everyone has a $2,000 plus PC. Yeah, I completely agree. Matthew Day says, not sure if Budget Builds Official is here or over there. I'm not too sure. I've never actually watched Budget Builds Official. It's never been suggested on my feed or anything.
Must be pretty good then.
Yeah, it must be great. Aletta says, I thought of uploading Wreckfest videos on YouTube, but I doubt anyone would watch them because it would be text only. It's a weird thing because YouTube is a very diverse place. There's everything and anything. So there's always going to be somebody who wants to watch something. They may not all find it, but there are going to be people that are searching for it, no matter what it is. Like, I've done a video on... I'm trying to think what I've done a video on.
Rain this week.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. Literally, me pointing my mobile phone out of my living room, well, the studio window, at the rain because it was absolutely pissing down and the noise was too loud to be filming. Or at least I thought it was. I think it would have been all right. But just literally filming that and saying, look, this is the British weather at the moment. That video or that short was almost one of the best performing videos of the week. Which means that there's either something seriously wrong with the algorithm or people are interested or searching for UK weather or something. I know it's a short, so generally it gets chucked out to so many different feeds is ridiculous because it's that kind of the feel-good factor. So scrolling through stuff, shorts is like, oh, dopamine, 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 dopamine. So YouTube publishes it all the time. But yeah, anyway. Stuart Cleary says, I can't believe I wasn't subscribed to Random Gaming in HD. I am now. Definitely, yeah, you should. If you're not subscribed already, you should be, because Random Gaming in HD is some cool shit. In fact, actually, one day I would love to do some work with Random Gaming in HD. So if we ever can make that happen, that'd be awesome. Irie Wolfman says, I wish I had a good GPU for my LG C2. Nice screen. PS5 does a good job though. Still feels weird having no GPU for the past 3 years. Talking of GPUs, I think it is definitely, weirdly, it's kind of difficult. So bear with me. I'm going to go into one on this a little bit. So graphics cards at the moment, a lot of people are slating the latest release, the GTX 1630 from NVIDIA, which actually, if you take into consideration the inflation at 20% approximately, it actually is a pretty good investment over the previous generation card, the 1050 Ti, in terms of a little bit extra spec, a few more things that it can do, and slightly faster in a few titles. It isn't entirely bad. But a lot of people are looking at it saying, well, the 1650 was this price, the 1050 Ti is this price, and this is this price. But we are in a really, really unique position in terms of inflation. Add 20% onto anything. There's a few things which are different. RAM has stayed relatively stable. Processors are starting to come down, but that is because AMD want to clear all 5000 series processors. to make way for the 7000 series. They've categorically stated that they want to clear inventory. So for those people that are clinging on to AM4 and thinking they'll get an AM5 processor when they're cheaper, they're not going to get much cheaper than they will kind of Black Friday, maybe just before then. That is when AM5 is basically going to be almost history. Sorry, AM4 is going to be almost history. Or they will start rising in price because they're going to become more scarce. Not in production. People will start shitting themselves thinking, oh, I need a processor in case XYZ server or XY file server or game machine falls over, I'll buy a spare processor. People do it. I know it happens. Businesses especially. So AM4 is going to bottom out, I would say, in the next month or so. We're already seeing on a daily basis that they're dropping. They, at the moment, are the only things which, if you take into account the inflation, are kind of offsetting that quite a lot. So if you take off the discount, add on 20%, AM4 processors at the moment are probably the lowest they've been ever. They might get a little bit lower, but it's not going to be a great deal. Start rising in price. Yeah, that was not intentional, but thank you. I'll take that one. Graphics cards clearly have come down in price, and the 3060 Ti is now kind of readily available from scan.co.uk here in the UK. It's been in stock at least 3 times this week, gone out of stock, come back in stock kind of next day or the day after. So there isn't that kind of huge rush for graphics cards at the moment. The crypto stuff hasn't kind of kicked in as much as I thought it would. We're still seeing some graphics cards on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, which have come down in price. Not spectacularly, although some have been affected more than others. Weirdly, things like the RTX 2060 seems to have taken quite a big hit. Things like the 1660 taken quite a big hit. Lower end cards, 1650 Super, 1650s, 580s, 480s, that kind of cards. Even 1060 6 gigs, they all seem to be kind of hovering at where they were. Whereas some of the other cards, I noticed actually somebody on our Amazon affiliate links in Canada, I believe, bought a 3090 Ti, and literally 2 days later, when we actually checked the listing, is like $200 cheaper. So the Halo products are going to be coming down in price massively. And of course, with the 4000 series nearing every day, the 3000 series are the 3000 series are in a really bad place. If you've bought an expensive AMD card or an expensive Nvidia card over the last year, you're going to start seeing those prices tank. The 680s, 6800, 6900, the 3080, 3090s, all of them are dropping massively as well, even despite the 20% inflation as well. Oh, there we go again. Oh, you deleted it. Well done. Raza, still running a GTX 960 here. Bought it for £170 on eBay, June 2021. I think June 2021, heading from then into Christmas same year,
Yeah, 22, yeah.
is was kind of peak graphics card prices. I myself, the 6500 XTs, bought 2 of those. I bought a little bit before that. I bought the GT 1030. Yeah, there's been a few that I've definitely dialed it in wrong. Mark Point says, "Damn, who here in chat is buying a 3090 Ti?" I don't know who it was. I mean, was it Canada, Kath? It was, wasn't it? You say it was Canada, the 3090 Ti for like $2,100.
Yeah, somebody in Canada, I think.
Yeah, it's somebody in Canada bought it. I don't know.
On our affiliate thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, whoever it was. Yeah. Where do I... Oh, Ivory Wolfman, scan don't deliver in Ireland anymore. Same with all UK stores. So, Germany, option... It's weird, isn't it, with Ireland, what's going on over there. I don't understand the kind of the politics with Ireland. Is it... Are you Ireland or Ire or Northern Ireland. I get confused what goes on over there, which is terrible really, because we're all kind of part of the same country, but we're not. We are, but we are. Like, you know, Great Britain and United Kingdom and all that kind of stuff. Aletta says, I see RX 6800s are $600 on Amazon, but think I'd rather spend that on a new guitar or bass. Arani saying the 3070 is under 500 quid in the UK. Yeah, I was amazed when I picked up my 3060 Ti for 369, which was, it's still more than what I had to pay, but it has improved my video editing. Well, it hasn't improved my editing, but it's made it more streamlined. I don't think there's much that can help my editing. I think I'm beyond that. I think that's game over. William Bodie says he's bought whiskey for Bob. And it says, first you swaller, then you holler. God, just don't drink that before you come and build the water cooling loop.
You could fill it with it.
Michael Thompson says, here in Australia, new Asus TUF OC 600 XT with 3 free games. 1 game 80 USD due out in October, and a free shipping less than 650 US dollars. That sounds ridiculously cheap.
Thanks, Aaron Wolfman. Reported the spam.
Thank you. Yeah, if you see the Naked HD thing, can you right click on it and report as unwanted spam, please? Eventually they'll... I'd literally, today or yesterday, I ticked the box that said in YouTube, remove more things. It's like, come on, it says naked, it says cheap and sex and Tinder. It's like, where in YouTube's algorithm, like if I say one bad thing about a certain American event in the last 2 years, I get banned or I get a strike. Whereas they will allow people to say that and get away with it. It's like, come on.
And also, I think you have to be subscribed, so have you got 3 new subscribers now?
No, they're not subscribed. I've left it so it's open for everyone. I think that's what it was. I should have said it so it's only subscribers can comment, but
because
I don't
Lord
know.
Erectus is having trouble getting in, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, where's Lord Erectus? Dutch Jan says, I'd like to have an RX 6700 XT Red Devil. Sadly, because of the fact I use Adobe Premiere, it is kind of like, you've got to use NVIDIA. Otherwise, things are just not as good.
It's even more horrendous.
Yeah. It's like they've almost locked us into... I'm struggling to even say it. I am tempted to go Intel NVIDIA on my editing rig. I am very, very tempted. And due to that motherboard, which was on yesterday's video, which is still here, the £50, I still can't get a very good a deal this was. The Z690p Wi-Fi D4. This is one of the few boards actually that does have 2 USB 3.0 headers, which would suit that tower case very nicely. I'm going to double check that actually, that's something I meant to check. Sorry for the rustling, just think it's ASMR. So, where are we looking? Yeah, USB 3.0 there, and USB 3.0 there, and a USB Type-C. So with this board, I could actually connect up all of the USB headers and have it sat behind me. The only downside of this is we are limited on USBs, because on the back we've only got 2, 4, kind of 6. And I'm pretty sure at the moment, as things stand, I'm sure I've got 7 USB devices plugged into that PC. So there's keyboard, mouse, Stream Deck, that camera, that camera, that camera, wireless, the headset, that's plugged in as well, wireless keyboard and mouse, that's 8. There's 8 things plugged in already, so yeah. I guess I could plug some of those into the front panel headers. But yeah, that is, I suppose if I got some of those USB 2 headers, I could put those at the bottom and use those for less used devices. That could work. They're not expensive, you can pick those up for like pence. But I was really shocked at how well the 12th gen Intel processors actually performed. That 12100 system, I actually sold that last Saturday, I think it was. And yeah, it was really quick, like really quick. And the single core performance for the 12100 is about the same as the single core performance as the 12700 or 12900, I think, as well. It's just a ridiculously fast single core. But anyway. Republic of Ireland. Okay, thank you very much for that, Irie Wolfman. David Jock says, do Tesco's do graphics cards? I don't think so. They've done PCs before, and they do PC parts. They've always do like Logitech keyboards and Trust components, like lots of Trust stuff, even though Trust stuff is basically not very good.
George loved looking at it every week.
He did. We used to take George and Angel shopping with us at Tesco at Bradley Stoke near us. And yeah, they would love that bit, going into the computer section, look at all the stuff. I would always look at the TVs, the reduced TVs.
You bought a monitor for 15 quid,
Yeah,
you didn't have a stand.
I did buy a 22-inch monitor for, how much was it? £15, wasn't it?
I think it was 15.
Yeah, £15 because it didn't have a stand or a remote control. It's basically an HDMI TV, but it had all the inputs there. That's mad. I can't remember what I did with that. Didn't Angel have it in the end?
I think you sold it, didn't you, in the end?
I think I put a stand on it and sold it. Anyway, moving on.
Or gave it away with a PC you sold.
Mark Point says, I plan on buying NVIDIA Quattro RTX 4000. Very nice. It'll be interesting to see what the new 4000 series is like. I think we're going to all end up having new power supplies. I think that's basically where it is. From what I gather, NVIDIA have told power supply manufacturers to be prepared for massive amounts of wattage and spiking. So yeah, that's not looking good.
Excuse me. Stephen Simmons says thanks for the keyboard and mouse tip.
What was that?
That thing there.
The tip?
Yeah.
What tip did I give?
Well, it was 10 quid.
Oh right, is it still for sale?
No.
Oh.
Thanks for the keyboard and mouse
Oh,
tip.
of course, yes, got you. Yeah, that was, yeah.
Brian.
My brain doesn't work. Mark Point says, come to the dark side, Mike. Wendy Bob says, AMD 6000 series are dropping in price quick, especially 6800 XT and 1600 XT. It's going to happen. They are going to fall off a cliff. Where are we? Raza96 says, I bought the RS B450 RS Pro. It's a good board, actually. Way better than my old A320M-K. The A320M-K does have its purposes, but yeah, the B450 chipsets are much better. Ugly Bob says, use a PCI USB card. I could. That is, yeah, that is another. There is a lot of USB. There is a lot of PCI Express headers on PCI slots. Wow, words is hard. Yeah, got loads of those. Riley says, wow, you need a PSU just to run your USB devices. Yeah, and all the bloody associated RGB along with them. Welly Bob says, 12 series i7-99 suck too much power when you hit them hard. They do, but conversely, on the flip side, when they're idling, they idle at ridiculously low wattages. So if your system's going to be more idle than flat out, potentially you could still make a saving. I have been looking into that with my my little mains tester to see what systems are getting, and it's surprising how much power systems use. It really is. And with electricity getting to the way it is, it's not good. Steve Simmons says, ages ago, thanks for that keyboard and mouse tip, Mike. I'll be honest with you, that keyboard, for what it is, for £5 or £10 if you ignore the mouse, is brilliant. Reza is the one who really should have got the kind of the thanks for that. I just distributed the deal to kind of like a wider audience, but yeah, it was all for £10. I thought to begin with that the USB Type-C was like a custom one, but it turns out I plugged it into an extension hub and it just didn't like it for some reason. But I plugged it in to the PC behind me with William Bodie's USB Type-C cable, and yeah, it was perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but it worked.
Captain Morpheus is off.
Cheers, Cap. I can't read that out because there's 2 words in there that would probably not go well for the, what's it called, the algorithm, so I won't say that, but I hope you feel better soon, buddy. Oh, God. Right, bear with me a second. It's popped up again. YouTube is saying now would be a good time to insert ads. So I'm going to try this and see what happens, right? So I don't know how this works. So I'm going to press it so I don't piss off the YouTube overlords, but feel free to press skip. So I've inserted an ad, so I don't know what happens now. Has that affected anything? Can you see an advert? Has anything popped up? I can't see it. I'm watching Cav's screen now, which is the live replay. So that should have come up by now. Doesn't appear to. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's good then. So why does that not done anything? I'm confused. I'm really confused. Yeah, streams will go in. Oh, hang on. Cav's got an advert. There we go. So you might have to have an advert.
2 ads. Dutch Jones ad.
Dutch Jan's had 2 ads. It looks like it's, I think that's what it is. YouTube, if I press the button, it then gets to the point where YouTube will be like, okay,
I need to find one.
let's see what these guys will be interested in. And yeah, I think that's done it.
So has O'Reilly got one if he pays for no ads?
Did you get one, O'Reilly? I pay YouTube monthly, so no, it's all right. Bob's got an ad blocker, but it's alright because he pays us loads of super chats.
I didn't get an advert on my phone though.
Did you not?
No.
Alright. So no ads on mobile apparently.
Well,
Stuart got the ad. Reza says I have ad block plus on, no ads here. No ads on YouTube Premium from Welly Bob. Good. No ad here. Cool. Well, that's it. I'm glad that it's not affected people too badly. It's one of those sad things that because of being basically a pissant channel on YouTube, you kind of have to do what they tell you to some respects. People think it's really good because like you're your own boss and you can do what you like. You can't. You can't at all. It's basically do what YouTube want you to do, or they will hang you out to dry.
They won't promote you at all. They don't promote you anyway.
No, that's true. Saeed Anwar says, hello folks, what do you think of the Corsair K100 keyboard and Scan refurbished products? I've never had experience with Scan's refurbished products, so I couldn't answer that one. And I haven't had the K100 keyboard, so I'm going to struggle. Hopefully someone else in the chat might be able to help you out. If you can, just at Saeed Anwar in the chat and let him know. Stuart says, I got the ad, just press skip ad. Well done. Sorry to hear that, Dave Jock. But well disguised. Steve Simmons says, got the advert on the phone, but not on the Xbox. That's interesting. That's a good one. Yeah, Michael Thompson says, ads can be regional from what I've heard. So being here in Australia, I'm immune to UK ads. Awesome. Oh, bless you, lucky man. You need my hat, Mike. Flash away.
Is it because of the disco light, maybe?
Oh yeah, the disco light didn't work, did
But
it?
that's because it's...
Oh, because it's a super sticker.
Yeah, I
know.
think. Is it? No.
I don't
It's
know.
just a supporter thing.
Welly Bob says, do what's needed to put food on the table, Mike. This, yeah, sadly that is kind of... The YouTube overlords are kind of... They're there. It is a fantastic platform. And there's no way on God's green earth that we could reach even a slither of the audience that we do without YouTube's help. So hopefully it'll get to some point in the future where YouTube will be kind of like the platform that we spring from. So people find us on YouTube but then follow us on to somewhere else. That would be
We have Odyssey.
Awesome.
And Rumble.
Yeah, we're on Rumble. No, not on Rumble, are we?
We are on Rumble, but not all our videos are.
Oh yeah. We're on Rumble. We're also on Odyssey, which is pretty cool. To be honest with you, I think for most people, YouTube is just the more convenient platform.
Although Odyssey's got a lot better, isn't it?
It does seem to, yeah. Okay, Wild Bill says, I've seen no ads. That's good. Ira Wolfman says, YouTube Premium is my ad blocker. I'll be honest with you, I am tempted to get YouTube Premium to block ads. But it kind of goes against my principles. But then also I do want to support the content creators that I'm actually watching. So it puts you in a bit of a weird position. It's not expensive, I suppose, so for the time that potentially I would save by not watching ads, I suppose I could claim it back as a business expense as well, because I kind of need it so I can actually do research. Don't know whether that would go down well. Maybe it would. Jad 2016 says, God, I'm late. Hello. How you doing, Jad? Welly Bob says, I pay premium, YouTube Premium, basically, so it supports all creators, then just pay a small sub to Mike and a few others. Bless you, sir.
Thank you, Welly Bob.
Aletta says, I use the Brave browser, which has ad blocking and anti-tracking built in. I love it. There was something, what was the scandal about Brave recently?
I think that was DuckDuckGo, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it might have been DuckDuckGo. It was one of them, wasn't it? And I was like, oh, typical. A lot of these kind of companies, they start out with the greatest of intentions, but they get to a size where they grow so big that they're going to become compromised at some point. It's a shame. It really is a shame. But yeah, I've looked at the Brave browser. It does look quite interesting. If it integrated things like TubeBuddy and stuff like that, tools that I use on a daily basis, I probably would go for it. Jad 2016 says 3070 Founders Edition has been in stock all week, but when I go to buy it, it just goes out of stock. Just been checking it all day. I would almost guarantee they'll be in stock on Tuesday. Almost guarantee it. Because it's Friday and the time of the month it is. They will be getting deliveries.
Tuesday?
Yeah, so they'll get their delivery on Monday morning. They might be in stock on Monday, but I would say there's chances are the delivery will come in on Monday. It goes through the inventory system and it'll be it might be listed late Monday. If not, it'll be Tuesday morning. So you only got, well, 48 hours maximum, I would say. If you can hang out that long, it's worth waiting for. Right, what time is it? Bloody hell, it's 10:30, didn't realise that late. Right, I think that's we've dragged this out long enough, so I think we're going to wrap things up there. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight on this Saturday, and my throat has actually managed to get through to the end, although I'm feeling a bit nasal now, so maybe, I don't know, maybe something or other. Maybe it's this, hey, the cup's gone back to normal. My tea is now cold. And the other thing that was on there is gone. What's her name? The woman, I can't think of her name.
Princess Leia?
No, it wasn't Princess Leia. Anyway, thank you all for your super chats. Hopefully you've enjoyed the tour of the Tower 500 case. Don't forget, you can, once this video is gone to the VOD, video on demand, comment. Let me know what you'd like to see in the case. That's what it's called, video on demand.
But the way you said it.
I'm a dick. I'm a human being as well. I have feelings. I had feelings.
Sorry.
Hurts me so much. Yes, thank you all for taking part, joining us tonight. Thank you for the super chats. all your continual support. Sorry about not being with you last Saturday, but yeah, my throat was, yeah, effed. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching. And after, oh, where do I put my Stream Deck? Where's my dick? I've lost my dick. There he is. Right, where are we going? There we go. And press the stop button. See you all next.